Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Art, channeling messages from Spirit, Infinite Gratitude. I'm going to do a collective reading. Spirit, any and all messages for the collective. I'm just going to pull some cards. The Emperor in upright position. The Knight of Pentacles in upright position. The King of Chalices in reverse. The Knight of Chalices in upright position. The Knight of Swords in upright. The World card in upright. There is a competition amongst masculines. The Emperor came out first in upright, and then we have the Knight of Chalices. And from my point of view, from my perspective, it looks as if the Knight of Chalices is running away from the Emperor. So the Knight of Chalices can't compete with the Emperor for obvious reasons. Then we have the King of Chalices in reverse position. The King of Chalices, I think this person knows their worth, but they can't compete with this person. They can't compete with the Emperor. But it's not like they don't know their worth. They just know that they can't compete against a particular person for a particular relationship or for a particular thing. But he's standing his ground. He's not running. The Knight of Chalices, he's running. He can't compete. The Knight of Swords, he's running. He can't compete. The World card in upright position, and then the Four of Swords. So I feel like there is no competition. There is nobody competing against the Emperor. They're either running from the Emperor or they just know that they can't compete with the Emperor. So it's like, I know my worth, but I'm not going to try to compete with this person because I know my worth. I'm not going to try to compete. And I think it's really interesting. The Emperor is just like indifferent. No matter who stands their ground or who runs away, it's just the same expression on his face. He's indifferent. He is who he is. And he's powerful. And it's really genuine. It's authentic. His power is from a grounded source. And it just is what it is. He doesn't have to do anything for people to run away from him or for people to acknowledge him for who he is. With the World card in upright position, I feel like anything is possible. There are a lot of possibilities opening up. And with the Four of Swords in upright position, I feel like there is no competition. So whoever was trying to compete with the Emperor, with Divine Masculine, they've either backed out, gotten scared, backed out, or just accepted the fact that the Emperor is the winner or is not to be competed with, can't compete with him. Like, there is no competition. Whatever competition that was happening is over with. Like, there could have been masculines who tried to compete with the Emperor, tried to approach him, tried to compare themselves to him. There could have been masculines who tried it and they ran. I think they got close, felt the power, felt the influence, felt the authenticity, and just gave up, ran. But we have this one guy here who just, I don't think this person ever even tried to compete to begin with. I feel like he maybe looks up to the Emperor. This is someone who looks up to Divine Masculine. Maybe wants to be in his place. Maybe wants to be Divine Masculine. Maybe has jealousy towards Divine Masculine. But he is self-aware enough to know better than to compete or try to copy him or try to be like him or try to replace him or take his place. He loves himself too much to scrap his own identity and become someone that he's not. He actually appreciates who he is authentically and will not put himself in that situation. But I think this is something that he thought about. He might have thought about copying this person. He might have thought about trying to take this person's place. He might have thought about trying to compete and compare himself to this person, but I feel like just the thought of it by itself, the thought of copying this man, the thought of acting like this man, the thought of trying to be someone that he isn't authentically hurts, and he won't do it because he has a certain sense of self-respect. So instead of trying to be like someone he's not, he's just not going to put himself through that kind of torment. He knows better than to try to put himself through the torment of being like someone that he can never be or that he isn't meant to be. Because the Emperor, I feel like, is one of a kind. This isn't a replicable identity or energy or persona. So there's 7 cards on the table, and I feel like I just summed them all up in 6 minutes and 31 seconds. There is no competition. The Emperor outlasts all the competition. Spirit, tell me more. But this is really relieving for me. I don't like the theme of competition, and I don't think it's that relevant what my opinion is about the reading, but I'm just going to throw it in there. This is something that I'm not aware of. This is something that I'm not focused on, so it's interesting to tap into this because apparently Divine Masculine has competition. Divine Masculine is being approached by other masculines. Other masculines want to copy him, be like him, have what he has, compare themselves to him. Other masculines are trying to size him up. Okay, this is sizing up energy. The King of Chalices in reverse is sizing up the Emperor and has determined not to even go there, not to even try. We've got some very immature men, or we've got some very immature masculine energy. 3 knights, the swords, the chalice, the sword, the chalice, and the pentacle. 3 different knights, 3 different masculine energies running for the hills. I feel like they didn't know what they got themselves into. They didn't know what they were getting themselves into when they approached the Emperor. They didn't know until they found out. It's like they had to touch the fire to know that it was hot. Like they didn't know that the fire was hot. So they touched a flame and they got burnt and they are running for the hills. The Emperor is on fire. They can't even get close to him. There's no competition. The Justice card in reverse. Now this is interesting. Spirit, tell me more about the Justice card in reverse. I'm picking up on a message that these immature masculines, they might be still immature. They might still be thinking like they can approach the Emperor, even though they got burnt the first time. They might have it in their minds to try again, to do the same thing, expecting a different result. Very unwise, very immature, very unaware. So if they don't learn from their mistakes, they're going to burn themselves again. And they've already been burnt, so it's not like they're uninjured and trying to do this again. They have been injured. Their ego has been injured. Something has been injured for them to be running, scared, for them to be retreating, scared, hiding, trying to get out of the situation, trying to get away from the emperor, trying to stay as far away from him as possible. If they were to go back to the emperor, if they were to approach the emperor again, the damage would be more severe, considering that their ego or whatever has already been injured. Spirit, tell me more. Is that the case? Is that what's happening here? Are these masculines coming back for more? The Fool card in reverse. If the Fool card was in upright position, I would think that yes, they're going back for more and they're going to get burnt again because it's the emperor. We see what they're getting themselves into just reading the cards. But it's in reverse. So I feel like they have learned not to approach the emperor, especially in this way, to compete with him, to challenge him. They're going to get burnt. Even worse. Thank you, Spirit. They have learned. Now, I want to understand why the Justice card is in reverse. I think there's a pity party happening. I think there is a pity party happening. That's not fair. This isn't fair. Why him and not me? Why him and not us? There's a pity. They know better than to approach the emperor and compete with the emperor and compare themselves to the emperor and try to challenge the emperor. They aren't coming back. They aren't coming back for more fire. They aren't coming back for more burns. They know better than to re-injure themselves. But they are throwing a pity party. They are questioning God, God's decisions, or the will of Spirit. Why him and not me? Why him and not us? It's no fair, no fair. So they would, if they could, they would approach the emperor again. They would try this again. They would fight to the death if they could. But they don't have it in them. And it's really upsetting them. They're very upset that they got burned. But it's the lack of respect for me. Like, this is the emperor. And I don't think he's just in this position for no reason. I don't think this is like random. I don't think this is unfair. But the immaturity in these people and these masculine energies, the immaturity within them would say it's unfair. But it might not be unfair. It might be fair. It might be serving them in their highest good, that he's in this position and they're not. It might be a good thing that they're not the emperor. It might be a good thing that they're not in a position of power. Spirit, tell me more about the emperor and the Justice card in reverse, the pity party. Like, what do we need to know? What does collective need to know? The Ten of Swords in reverse. I feel like, I don't want to use this term, but it might be demasculating to these men or to these people or to these masculine energies to have challenged the emperor and got burned and ran, got scared. It might be this or what's the word? Demasculating in some form or fashion. With the Ten of Swords in reverse, it's like really degrading. It feels really degrading. So the point of challenging him was to feel powerful, and then you end up feeling like a bitch. So it's like, whoa, I came here, or I challenged him because I wanted to be that guy, and now I feel like a little boy. So the reverse effect happened. The opposite of the goal happened. This kind of blew up in their face. They wanted power, they wanted something, and they got the opposite. So it's like the expression on his face says it all. It's like, I'm not going back, I'm not doing that again. He's going to hold it together until he gets home, and then he's going to throw a fit, probably going to cry. He's holding it together until he gets as far away from the emperor as possible. Anything else? The Ace of Swords in upright position. So I feel like this was a divinely orchestrated experience that was meant to help the people who need it. So the immature people need experiences like this to create awareness, where they stand, what they know, what they can do, what they want to do, who they want to be. This is an experience that is going to help create a new beginning for the people who need to grow, or the people who are still on certain levels that they shouldn't be. They should be ascending. They should be on higher levels. And it's not going to happen overnight. They have to start somewhere. They can't just size up the emperor and try to challenge the emperor and try to compete with the emperor. That's not going to get them to where they want to be. They want to grow, but it's not happening the way that they tried it the first time. After being embarrassed, humiliated, the thing is, it's not about what other people think of them. It's what they think of themselves. Public opinion can only have so much of an impact on a person, but what really creates change in a person is the way they look at themselves, the way they feel about themselves. If that person manages to feel degraded, can't even look at themselves in the mirror, can't even cope with being themselves, they make a mistake, or they do something not realizing what kind of effect, what kind of impact it was going to have on them. If that person manages to feel belittled within, because it's not like you should be ashamed of yourself. Why would you do that? This is how you look. This is how you sound. That person got to feel ridiculous all by themselves to change. And that's what's happening here. They feel ridiculous all by themselves. They don't need nobody to write it out to them why they should be ashamed. They don't need nobody to spell it out to them what they did that was embarrassing, what they did that was humiliating. They are ashamed all by themselves. They feel all types of negative things. You know, whack is one thing. Boyish is another thing. They feel boyish. They feel whack. They feel like they don't even know who they are, because I feel like their ego really got them to challenge the emperor, challenge this mature man, and their ego got stripped from them, so they feel stripped of whatever power they thought they had. So they have been calibrated to reality. They're being calibrated to reality so that they can have this new beginning. So they know where they stand. They know their starting point. And they're able to take logical steps forward that actually facilitate growth and potentially can get them where they want to go. That there's no challenging the mature man. There is no competing with the divine masculine, the emperor, the mature man, and taking his spot. There's no real power in that. There's no real feeling of victory in that. There's no masculinity in that. So they're looking to feel like men, or they're looking to feel empowered, and the opposite happened. And I think the pity party is what triggered the awareness, because they go from having the audacity to challenge the emperor to having to hold it together and boohoo cry when nobody's watching. And then it's like, wow, this is degrading, you know? So whoever these men are, whoever these masculine energies are, they have an opportunity to grow authentically and become who they feel they should be or what they want to be, and do it for the right reasons. Any last messages for the collective spirit? A lot of masculine energy, but the emperor is at the head of this reading. The emperor is in charge. The emperor is at the head. He's the first card that came out. So I feel like the emperor has something to say. And it goes, I want you to know how I feel. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. I know I deserve respect. Don't allow any of these other masculines to misconstrue my image. Don't allow any of these masculine energies challenging me, competing with me, make you think that I am available to be competed with, because I'm not. The emperor wants it to be known, and the emperor wants to make it clear that he's not even available for competition, despite how many people approach him, despite how many people try to get close. He is energetically not available for competition. So we're seeing all of this happen, but the emperor is like, I'm the same person I was before and after being challenged. I'm the same person I was before and after meeting these masculine energies. I'm the same person before and after the King of Chalices sized me up and decided not to bother me. I'm the same person before and after whoever crossed paths with me. There's more to this energy. There's more coming from the Emperor. The Emperor is like, I gave them a reason to get up and do anything. I gave them the floor. Very mature man, very mature masculine energy. Very he's not in his ego. He's not in his ego. At all. They came, they tried to challenge him, and he didn't have to say what I'm saying. Like, he didn't have to say what I'm saying now. He didn't have to defend his honor in any way. He didn't have to make a show about it. He didn't have to shame these people. It's like they shamed themselves and they felt degraded all by themselves. And there's no ego in this man, or there's very little ego in the Emperor. And that's all I have to say about that. So the Emperor, whoa. Let me slow down. It's been 27 minutes. I think, whoa. Divine Feminine has to show up somewhere. I think this has something to do with the Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine knows the Emperor isn't available for competition, knows the Emperor has very limited ego, or an ego that doesn't live out. I feel like this reading has something to do with Divine Feminine. I think that all of these masculine energies trying to compete with him, it has something to do with Divine Feminine. I think it has something to do with Divine Feminine. So if you're a Divine Feminine watching this, I feel like your person, if you're dealing with Divine Masculine energy, he's getting competed with by other men or other people. Other masculine energies are competing with him, and I feel like you might be part of the reason why Divine Masculine is getting competed with, and he is not offended. Number one, his ego is not living out. He has control over it, because I don't want to say he doesn't have an ego. I take that back. And that's why I had a problem with saying that. He does have an ego. The Emperor has an ego. And the Emperor has an ego, but he doesn't let it live out. He doesn't let it control him. He doesn't allow his ego to make him do dumb things like challenge other mature men who know themselves and who are powerful. or try to copy other mature men. He knows his ego is in its place. He doesn't let it live out. He chooses when to let his ego live out. Where was I going with that? He thinks it's funny. He is not mad at these people approaching him, competing with him, trying to size him up. He feels validated by all of the energy he's getting from these other men who are jealous, envious. It's like confirmation to him. He doesn't need jealousy. He's not feeding off of the envy and jealousy of immature men. He instead looks at the competition as confirmation that what he has is valuable. He thinks that all of this energy is coming his way. That means he's winning. He's not mad at all at the people here trying to compete with him. It's like they have nerve to try this. They have nerve, but it's not like he's gonna be hurt. His feelings aren't hurt. He's not hurt. He's fire. He's living fire. And if you touch him and you aren't fire, if you're not fire, you're gonna get burned. You can't touch him if you're not fire. You're gonna get burned. So anyway, he's fire. He not hurt. He don't feel no type of way. He just knows that what he has is valuable because everybody want it, and everybody trying to come for him. Everybody coming for his spot. So he's like, oh, I must be doing something. And that's true. He feels like he's doing something. He knows he's doing something. He knows he's doing something right. For all these people to be sizing him up and competing with him. And I feel like this has something to do with divine feminine. I feel like this has something to do with divine feminine. So divine feminine, like I said, if you're watching this, your masculine, your divine masculine might be getting competed with by other masculines who see him dealing with you on whatever level and want to take his spot or want to have what he has. And now your masculine looks at you even more googly-eyed because of all the competition. So now your masculine feels more connected to you or feels even more attracted to you because all these other men are competing with him, and he's not intimidated. He's divine masculine. He's not hurt. His feelings aren't hurt. Like the audacity. He's not intimidated. His feelings aren't hurt. He's just like, okay, you know what? He's just like feeling him. He feels good. He's feeling himself. He's feeling his person, his woman, whoever he's dealing with, divine feminine. He's getting confirmation. He's being directed and guided towards you to pursue you. So the more the merrier. It's just quite a bit. It's quite a bit of competition. So it's enough confirmation. And it's not like he needed competition to know that he's dealing with divine feminine. It's not like he needed other men to want what he has, to know that what he has is valuable. It's confirmation. And I think that's important to note because these immature masculine energies might have had the intention to put the emperor down, or try to put the emperor down by belittling his woman, or belittling the woman he's dealing with, or belittling divine feminine. They might have had the intention. I feel like they're so immature, they would try to belittle whoever he's dealing with. I feel like these masculine energies are so immature. If they hurt their own feelings and got burnt, touched fire and got burnt, they would go and try to talk about the woman he's dealing with. They would try and downplay the relationship divine masculine has or is in. They would try to come for divine feminine, or they would try to downplay what the emperor has going for him. But in reality, they're very jealous, they're very envious, they want his spot, they want to take his place, they want to be with his wife, his woman, his divine feminine. Where was I going? But I think it all comes off as confirmation to the emperor. So it's like these masculines are so immature. Like, they'll do anything to get in his head. They'll do anything to get in his head and make him think less of himself, or think less of whatever he has going for him. But the opposite is happening. Once again, the complete opposite of what they want is happening. The complete opposite. And this is why this needs to come out. This is why this needs to be said by divine feminine energy. Divine masculine is taking it all as a compliment. Divine masculine is taking it all as confirmation. He knows he's dealing with a high value woman. He's dealing with something valuable or someone valuable. He knows he's winning. He knows that he is powerful. And there's nothing that any immature man could say or do to make him question his value, or the value of what he has, the value of his relationship. If anything, they're helping confirm what he already knows to be true. So there is no confusion here. There is no belittling happening. There's only confirmation and validation of what already is. So that's why that needed to come out. The opposite effect is happening. These immature men are trying to downplay the value, downplay the uniqueness, downplay the sacredness, downplay it, trying to downplay it, make it look not as good as it is, make it sound not as good as it is. They want to corrupt, taint, tamper with what the emperor has and who the emperor is, because they can't be him. They can't be him, so they want to destroy him. Instead of destroying him, they destroy themselves, or they hurt themselves, and they feel even less of men than they came into the situation feeling like. They feel degraded. They wanted power, and they felt powerless. They wanted to downplay who he was, and they gassed him. So it's like, whatever they're trying to do, the opposite effect is happening. And the emperor has that level of awareness where he's able to feel confirmation with them being there. So like I said, there's like 3 masculine energies present here, running from him, because they feel really, really uncomfortable with themselves. And this is something that they did to themselves. The Emperor feels energized. He is transmuting the energy and allowing it to serve him. He knows that what he has is valuable. He's actually just really grateful and appreciative that he's in the position that he's in and that he's dealing with the person that he's dealing with. It's like, how many signs do you need? How many signs do you need? He knows it's just extra. It's not necessary. But if you needed another sign, there it goes. So he's so, oh man, I just love basking in the Emperor's energy. And he is so into Divine Feminine. Divine Masculine is so into Divine Feminine. And he wants to speak up. So I'm going to channel what he's saying. He's saying he doesn't need another sign. I'm hearing, I don't need any more signs. He doesn't have anything else to say in this reading. So I'm going to end this here. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.